Gary, with fall quickly approaching, it's time to make everything pumpkin spice flavored. You know what I'm talking about? Pumpkin spice.
Did you say pumpkin or pumpkin?
Pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin spice listing strategies. You know, we've got three of them that I think are really relevant, very pertinent, not only just given the time of year, but also the context, right? If you're in a market where listings are a little bit harder to come by, that's a lot of markets, then these three strategies will probably serve you.
Hi, and welcome to the Chris and Garry Show. My name is Garry Creath. I'm joined by my partner, Chris Scott, and we are here to talk all things real estate. Now, we hope that we have a little bit to add to the conversation because collectively, we've been in the real estate industry for over 50 long years. Now, today, we are here to drop some pumpkin spice on you. We're going to be talking about the fall season listing strategies. Now, that'll make a little more sense here in just a second, but in the meantime, if you like what you're seeing so far, make sure that you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you get all the updates, and make sure that you search us out on all the socials at The Paperless Agent. And with that, let's get started.
Let's just dive right in. There's three of them, Gary, that I was hoping we could share. And these are a little bit more of the grassroots approaches to getting listings. And there's three. One is our move up program. The second one is our home anniversary program. And then our third one is one of our expired listing programs. So let's just dive right in. I remember there was a time you and I were hanging out, and I asked, I forget what the context was. We were in the studio chit-chatting, and I said, Gary, let me ask you a question. If you had to get a listing, like if your next meal depended on you getting a listing, what is it that you would do? Do you remember this conversation?
I do remember this conversation, and because it took me like no time, I instantly reacted, and I said, I'd use my move up program. And I thought that was the end of the conversation, and I went on to do my thing, and you're like, whoa.
Oh, I was like, time out. We've never talked about this program before because it's like a genius marketing campaign when you think about it. We'll get into the details and talk about it. But this concept was, and you think, if your next meal depended on you getting a listing, you're going to do something to get it. And that's what kind of impressed upon me, the strategy that you have. And here's the thing. It's nothing super novel or super groundbreaking. It just works. It's almost too simple. People might look at it and say, oh, why would I do that? So maybe you could give people, there's three simple steps to be able to implement your move up program.
Sure.
Let's give everyone those three steps. And then maybe we could even give people some of the communication messaging that goes around communicating this move up program to people.
Well, you know, what I love about this is its simplicity. It's as simple as pumpkin spice. And so to bring it into context, so when you're talking about a move-up program, there are three different aspects of a move-up program in order to entice people to contact you. Number one, we must research your database and find the individuals or families that have been living in their house for over 3 years. Now, this can be easily done. You just go through your database one at a time, research in tax records or MLS when they purchase their home. Or if you have a sophisticated CRM tool, you will have their anniversary date as to when they moved there.
Time out real quick. When you say database, who are we talking about here?
All of your contacts and connections. So this is a common misconception, which I think is a new misconception. There must be somebody out there teaching real estate agents that your database is your past clients. That is not the case. Your database is all of your contacts and your connections that you have any relationship with whatsoever. Absolutely everybody that you know, by the way, who is not a real estate agent. So those
we're talking about
we're talking about
our sphere of influence, the people that we're connected to on social media, people from maybe a past job or from school. I mean, really just any personal connection.
Anybody you know. And here's the thing. You're like, well, why would anybody I know have any interest in real estate? Because everybody needs shelter. It's a fundamental need. You need to find all of the people, which by the way, if you're like, well, I don't have a database. I'm like, you got one of these things? It's called a mobile device. You got a database. You take that information, you research, you find out how long they've been living in their house. Statistics show that on average right now, most people are moving every 3 to 7 years. So we take the shorter amount of time and say, okay, if it's 3 years, we need to find everybody who has lived in their current residence that they own for 3 years or more. Step number 2 is produce a CMA, a market analysis showing an estimate of their current home's value, and then email it to them. So this can be very easily done. There are amazing tools out there. So if you're here in the United States, you can use RPR. The web address is narrpr.com. You can very easily pull up an estimated value of their home, email it directly from that site. Bam. Step
And that's
number
free.
2.
Like RPR is free to be able to use. So definitely
or,
very valuable
if you don't have access to that and you're in Canada or one of our neighboring countries, you can use your MLS. The thing is just to be able to quickly get a home estimate and send it to them. The point is not to nail down exactly what their home valuation is. No. The point is to offer them value, and you're offering them value through an estimate value of their home. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is after you send it, follow up with phone calls or text messages or social media messages or ads for your Move Up Home Buyer program. Those are the steps, the fundamental steps that you need to take in order to basically find your next deal.
Now, I think it's very interesting to examine the messaging that goes into the sharing of that CMA, because it is in the messaging that you create the opportunity for the conversation to happen. They may or may not be interested. They may actually know someone else who could benefit from the program that you have to offer. The messaging really helps understand, all right, how does this all tie together? So I'll just read this real quick and then we can chat about it. Hey, Gary, in reviewing my records, it looks like you've been in your home for over 4 years. Isn't it amazing how time flies? Out of curiosity, I took the liberty of running a market analysis on your home and see its current estimated value. You can see the analysis attached to this message. Did you know your home's value has increased by approximately 20% in the last 4 years? That's an $80,000 increase. Historically, people move every several years as we go through life changes. And if you're thinking of making a move in the next 18 months, I wanted you to know about my Move Up Buyer program. We have access to special financing programs and solutions to help you get into your dream home with an affordable payment. Are you curious about what's for sale? If you'd like access to my customized home search tools, send me a quick message. Thank you. Love, Gary. P.S. If you have any friends or family members who could benefit from this program, please tell them about it. Because of you, I'd be happy to make this program available to them. And so what you're doing is you're just structuring this as a message and explaining that here's an estimate of your home's value, right? And that if you're thinking of moving or the idea of moving has been interesting, well, what are some of the issues that people have in moving right now? So they are getting a loan, financing, right? Affordability, these are all real issues. And so being able to speak to those financial issues is a really helpful concern and a very helpful way to address for that potential prospective move-up buyer, one of the causes of why they might not want to move, or might instigate why they would. And then, of course, this also becomes a referral tool now because you've sent this message and people now can share this if maybe they're not going to benefit, but they know someone else who could. And so through this messaging, then you attach the CMA, fire this off, and then to Gary's point, you just follow up. When you have the conversation, what does the conversation look like as you're doing the follow-up, Gary?
Yeah, so, what we're not going to ask them directly for their business. What we're doing in following up is just making sure that they received the message. So it's something like, hey, Chris, want to make sure you received the market analysis I sent you. By the way, did you know that you potentially have this much additional equity in your home over the past 4 years? Isn't that astounding? Have you guys thought about making a move?
So you're not talking about the Move Up program in and of itself. You're using their home's estimated equity as a point of conversation. That's really what you're, instead of saying, you got a home to sell, hey, let's talk about my Move Up Buyer program. It's, hey, did you get a chance to check out that assessment? Isn't that interesting? Yeah, let's talk about that, right? Oh, have you thought of, and then you can get into the, have you thought of moving? And if like, well, we have thought of moving, did you know I have this Move Up program?
Did you know I have this Move Up program that can actually benefit you even more financially? Are you interested in learning about more about that? All of a sudden it's like, oh, yes.
this is very useful because it instigates the conversation so that we can educate them on what their options are. And really, that's the best way to sell, is just through education. And the people who are ready to take action, they're going to bring up the conversation. They will steer it. And all we have to do is then have a mind for the service. So,
and if they're not ready to have the conversation, hey, that's okay. Hey, you know what? I'm sure you run into people all the time who are thinking about making a move. If at any time you find it appropriate, make sure that you share this information with them. I'm sure they will appreciate it. Done.
So I love this because effective in this wise, this is very effective. Again, from a marketer's point of view, you have a very targeted group of people who have purchased a home and they've lived in this home for at least 3 years. And then you have this value creation of producing the CMA. And all it does is really opens up so many opportunities for conversation with you or without you, but they're all really good points of conversation, which is why this is so effective. It is better for you to invest, a couple hours a month producing these CMAs than, let's say, cold calling people, right? It's better for you to be producing these CMAs and following up with these people that you know than, let's say, trying to buy paid leads or something like that. This gets a result. Just takes a little bit of effort. Which leads us to our next campaign. Our next campaign is one, it's almost seemingly too simple, Gary. I mean, it's like literally a personal note. You've titled this particular campaign the Home Anniversary Campaign. Can you tell us, maybe give us some context? What is it? Why did you start doing this? And what's the benefit to people in producing a home anniversary campaign for people?
Yeah, so, people love to celebrate. We just love to celebrate. We celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, all kinds of different things, weddings, etc. And so why would we not celebrate one of the biggest events in their lives, and that is their home purchase? And so what I love to do is I love to send out handwritten notes. That's actually my handwriting, but send out handwritten notes to clients or just folks in our database. And this is a kicker here, especially the folks who have been in our database who have owned their homes for more than 3 years, but especially any past clients. So if you've been in real estate for any amount of time and you've sold any homes, you should be doing this on an annual basis. Just add your client's home anniversary date into your calendar and send them a handwritten note every single year. Hey, Chris and Nicole, can you believe that you've been in your home for 2 years now? It seems just like yesterday that we walked through the door, the kids ran past us directly to the pool, and you two were dreaming about the kitchen. Time flies. Congratulations again, Garry. That's it. I'm not asking for business. I'm not doing anything. Here's the thing. If you have been in the business and you have sold homes, you should be doing that for all of your past clients, no matter what. If you are new to the business and you have not sold any homes, you can still do this for everybody in your database who especially has owned their home for more than 3 years. You can write them a congratulations note. Sure, you didn't help them buy the house, but you can say, hey, Chris and Nicole, can you believe you've been in your home for 3.5 years or for 3 years or 4 years now? It's amazing how time flies. I hope you're enjoying your home.
Garry, I would insert, as a real estate professional, I take home buying and selling very seriously. And it's something that I feel like needs to be celebrated every single year. Whether you bought with me or sold with me or not, the fact that you purchased a home needs to be celebrated. And in spirit of that, I wanted to congratulate you, right?
I love it. It's such a great message.
Anyway, because as a real estate pro, and this is something I know about Garry, like Gary's very serious about his real estate conversations. Yes, he'll be funny and he'll be jokey, but he takes the conversation seriously and he listens. And so just like Garry, we can be taking the fact that they purchased a home, regardless of who it was with, serious enough to celebrate it, right? That's how serious we're taking it, serious enough to celebrate it. And it is a great way then to make that connection, a great way for you to be advocating the fact that you are in real estate to your contacts and connections, even if you haven't worked with them. That's what I feel like is the brilliance of this campaign. And the fact that it's a handwritten note means it's going to get opened. It's going to get read.
It's that personal touch that is not being done anywhere else. And so for you to be able to say that, they're like, oh my gosh. Then you know what happens at the dinner table that night? The conversation comes up. Oh my God, we got this letter in the mail from Garry. Can you believe we've been in our house for 4 years? Or can you believe we've been in our house for 8 years? Garry remembered. Wow, what a great guy, Garry. And then all of a sudden, if they want to start talking about real estate, gosh, you know what? We've been talking about maybe making a move. Maybe we should call Garry and find out what our home's worth.
Here's what I love about it is it shows people that you care.
Yep.
Because you're not asking for business.
Nope.
You're not really talking. You're just celebrating somebody, an activity that they had in the past. You're celebrating it. And what that does, it means you took either the time to remember or the time to record this information and then act on it. So it actually shows how much you care to be able to produce this communication, because they're looking at it like, well, Garry, like, obviously you're keeping track of how long they've been in the home. You're keeping track of the time of like the experience that you guys had. So now all of a sudden that takes time, energy, and effort. And you're not asking for anything. This is also
I actually want to interject here, Chris. A lot of people might be thinking, well, do I put my business card in there? No, I don't. If I put my business card in there, it actually devalues that message. It takes it from personal and now makes it business. And now they're thinking, oh, Garry's just thinking about what's in my wallet and how we can serve him, not this is just a, hey, thank you or congratulations. So that's a wonderful technique, a wonderful tool. I think everybody here should be using that. And again, if you have not sold any houses, that's okay. You can still look into your database and find out when the people bought their houses, put their home anniversary date in your calendar, and start doing these handwritten notes.
So let's get into the third and final of our pumpkin spice listing campaigns, and that is our proven expired listing strategy. So you guys are all familiar with prospecting expired listings. The traditional way is usually you acquire a list of expired prospects. There's lots of providers out there. And then you cold call them, or you could text message them. But the gist of it is, hey, I noticed your home didn't sell, and you're hoping to be able to get that person to agree to an appointment and potentially list with you. This, Garry, I see you shaking your head. This is like a surefire recipe for headache, frustration, a bottle of wine at night, just to get over the experience.
The thing. If you really just love the pain of rejection and you want people hanging up on you, yes, pick up the phone and cold call a bunch of expired and withdrawn listings and say, I noticed your home didn't sell. Click.
Yes.
Or prepare yourself for them yelling at you. Because here's the thing, Chris, they're not happy right now. Their home didn't sell. They know their home didn't sell. They don't need you reminding them of that.
Well, and they probably have 5 other people harassing them because their list their name is on a list.
500.
Right.
How many? Yeah.
They're not excited to hear from us. And, one of the things I liked about the previous 2 pumpkin spice campaigns or listing campaigns that we talked about is leading with value. And I feel like, the traditional approach to expired listings lacks value. You're just calling and hoping that someone is desperate enough that they'll take an appointment with you. What if we were to flip the script and provide value first, which is what I like about this approach that we want to share with everybody, is this improved way. So you're still going to acquire a list of those expired prospects, but instead of cold calling, what we're going to do is we're going to drop off a package that has a lot of value to it. We call it the My Home Didn't Sell Now What package, and I'll show you guys exactly what it looks like. This is a physical thing. It's not like here's actually a little picture of it from one of our former colleagues. He had this My Home Didn't Sell Now What package printed into a spiral binder thingy. And we would literally drop this off. And dropping this package off has, it's the highest response rate that I've ever seen out of any listing strategy. We would get 1 in 4 people calling us back. Is there time involved? Yes. Is there money involved? Yes. Dropping these packages off, like driving to their house, dropping it off. Like, yes, time involved. But 1 in 4 people calling back off of each package, that was our experience. That's pretty good. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen for everybody. Maybe it was the dynamics of the neighborhood we were dropping off. And I don't know, but I do know this worked really well. So let's look at what goes into this. So the My Home Didn't Sell Now What is it's just a report that has information about what their seller's options are.
Well, so here's the thing. What I love about this, Chris, is it answers the question that they already have. Their home didn't sell. It's like, yes, my home didn't sell. Now what am I supposed to do? Instead of us cold calling and saying, hey, I noticed your home didn't sell, they're like, yeah, no kidding, moron. I know that. Instead of doing that, it's provide value of saying, hey, we have some answers for you to the questions that we know you already have. And instead of us bugging you by knocking on your door or cold calling you or whatever, we're just going to provide the value. Here it is. If you need more help, let us know.
So we take this report, and like I said, it just basically goes through their options. Here's what your options are. You may decide you don't want to sell. That's an option, by the way. Not selling is an option. You may decide that you want to sell, and you may decide that you want to work with a previous agent. That's one of your options, by the way. It got you the result that you got, but it is still an option. And then there's a few other options as well, like maybe working with us. But if you're going to work with us, what you need to know is how we do things differently. You need to understand how we do it. And anybody that you work with, whether it's somebody else, make sure they're doing these things. Make sure they're doing these things because that's what's going to get your home sold. Right? Then what we do is we just literally take a printout of their home from the MLS so that it's highly personalized marketing. And then we show them like, yo, this is what happened. Like if there was a price, if they were chasing a price down and it didn't work, or maybe there's no price change, it just sat on the market. Little sticky note. Hey, Gary, there's a reason why your home didn't sell. It's either lack of promotion, preparation, or poor pricing strategy. Email me or text me if you want to discuss more about what your options are. Obviously, we've given them a lot of the options in that report. Now, all of a sudden, they have somebody providing them with this value that's highly customized to this individual. Literally their printout from the MLS. That's going to get attention. It's through personalization. It's also going to get attention because there's high value there. The fact that you produce this report, the fact that you printed off their MLS printout, which seems like such a small thing. No, trust me, that's a big thing because you know what? Most people cold calling haven't done any homework at all whatsoever on their home. So all of a sudden you've done all this homework, you're sharing it, and you've done this high level delivery. You've delivered this package. So they had, like, the consumer understands. They might not know all of what has gone into producing it, but it was more than the person who cold called them. And it might actually be more than the agent who listed my home if they believe that all they did was put it in the MLS and is praying that it sells. That's why this works. That's why I believe that this has got 1 in 4 people calling us back with this package delivered. So it's pretty straightforward. This is actually a great time of year for expired listings, Gary. I think you said that the majority of contracts are going to expire in the fourth quarter. Or like statistically, there's more contracts that expire in the fourth quarter than in the other quarters. And so it's a good time to be working this strategy. Because it is a little bit more intense work-wise, you can't do it for every expired listing in your market. What we suggest is pick your farm areas that you want to work in and just do it for those areas. So if you want some more help implementing some of these strategies, some of these campaigns, these pumpkin spice listing strategies, definitely check out our website. We have links in the show notes directing you to where you might be able to get some of these resources. And then if you like what you've seen today, if you like what you've heard, if you like these strategies, please like the video. Drop us a comment. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you're going to do. Share maybe some other strategies that you have going on. And then definitely check out our next episode. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when we release it. We'll see you soon, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.